Hi everybody and welcome to Photomikes Garage. Okay, so today I'm going to start working on a wintertime project for the Viper. This is a 2001 Viper GTS in race yellow, and I'm thinking of adding black stripes. A lot of Vipers, especially in the first year, in fact all the Vipers in the first year of the GTS, 1996, were blue with white stripes, and that's iconic for the Viper. Now later on in the year of this car and other years, they charged for those stripes. They charged up to 3,000 US for those stripes. Very expensive option in the day. So despite what people think, most Vipers actually did not come with stripes, especially after the 96 year, where they all came with stripes. After that, you know. So I'm thinking that in this year you could have gotten black stripes for 2001 with your yellow Viper, and I want to make that happen on this Viper. Now, the stripes originally were painted on, and in my case, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use vinyl because that's easy to do, and also if I don't like it, I can remove it. So today I'm going to start on the hood. Never done this before. Now, up here in Canada, that could cost up to $1,000 or maybe more to get stripes all the way the front, over the hood, and over the roof, all the way to the back, as it was done originally. That could cost up to 1,000 Canadian or more. And I want to save the money because I'm cheap. I'm Scottish, and so therefore I want to save money, right? So I'm going to see if I can do this myself. So today we're going to prep the surface. This car's already been washed before I put it away for the winter. It's just got dust on it. So I'm going to remove the dust and I'm going to mark where I want my stripes. And well, let's just see if I can do it. And I've never done this before, so I'm taking you along on a DIY of putting stripes on your Viper. First of all, I'm going to use some isopropylene alcohol to clean the surfaces to make sure there's no wax, oils, or contaminants. So, okay, so Viper stripes were 8 inches wide. They were just basic stripes, no pinstripes on the outside, 8 inches wide all the way from the very front to the very back, 8 inches all the way, separated by a 4-inch center. So 8-inch stripe here, 8-inch stripe here, 4 inches separated from the center line. So to start this off, I've got to find the center line of the hood and mark that all the way down. And to do that, I'm going to use my cloth, or plastic, my cloth tape measure. The idea is to use something that's not going to mark up the car. And we will find the center of the hood. Okay, I'm going to go from side to side. Side to side. Okay, so it's 26 inches. Half of 26 is, if I do my math right, it's 13, right? Half of 26 is 13. And to find the center at the front of the hood, I'm just going to go halfway for this hood scoop, and that should give me the center line. We got our mark right there. Now, what we're going to do is use masking tape and run it, 2-inch masking tape, like this guy here. We're going to run one 2-inch roll of masking tape, coming to the edge of all those dots down here, and then another one down here. So that means that you'll have tape coming from the center line 2 inches this way, and then butted up against each other 2 inches this way. Because the separation of the two stripes going down the hood and all the way through the whole car is 4 inches. So 4 inches here. And then that will give us a template to lay down the stripes from the 2 inches from the center line out 8 inches. There you go. No, I don't. First tape is laid down. Is that straight? I don't know. It could be. Yeah, that's not straight. Okay, so I've got the center masking tape down. That's our 4-inch separation of the two 8-inch stripes. Once we got our center section all laid out, now we can measure 8 inches in on either side to get the outer edge of the stripe worked out. So let's do that now. Okay, I'm going to keep doing that on each side, and then it's time to lay some magic knifeless tape. Okay, so now comes the interesting part. We're going to lay this knifeless tape from 3M. You wanted to do quality here for sure. Knifeless 3M tape. We're going to lay this little thin type of tape. It's only a 1/4 inch wide. We're going to lay it down the whole length, butt it up against the blue right here. And then where our little marks are, 8 inches wide, we're going to lay it right down there. And that is what's going to give us our clean line and our exact 8 inches. Okay, so before I lay this down though, I think it's a good idea to, wherever this tape is going to lay, it's got to be completely free of any grease. So let's use a little bit of alcohol to clean the surfaces where this tape is going to lay down. Okay, you can see how thin this is, 1/4 inch. It is a clear tape. Can you see that? No, you can't. It's a clear tape with a little thread in the middle. You pull the thread out, and as you pull the thread out, any vinyl that's on top of it will be a straight cut. Now you want to start off with a lot extra. And then we got to get it started right on the edge of the blue. That's what we're trying to do here. Let's see. Let's see if we can do it this way. Okay, as you can see, the knifeless tape is all in place. I think I did a pretty good job. Remember, when you use knifeless tape, make sure you leave lots of extra at the end, because you've got to break it. You got to break the plastic, get the thread going before you actually get to the part that counts. So make sure it's at least this long, but hopefully a lot longer like this one. As you can see, knifeless tape goes and follows the seam around. And it's not a perfect job, I'd have to admit. And then all the way up, and then the other side all the way down. You can see where the black stripe is going to be. Also notice at the very ends, I actually added knifeless tape to finish it off. And I don't know how good that's going to look. I don't want there to be any yellow to show here, so we'll see if that works. Another thing to keep in mind, and it's kind of hard to remember, but whichever knifeless tape you lay on first and then a knifeless tape on top of that one, such as right here, you're going to have to do this one first and then carry on with that one. And also, I've got the knifeless tape to finish off the edge right inside there. Hopefully that'll help me get a clean edge on the side. And that way, basically, I don't have to use a knife for anything here. Anything. And of course, that's what is called knifeless tape. You can do all your cuts without a knife and without any chance of cutting into your paint, which is the main point here. Anyway, I've cleaned the center section with alcohol. I'm ready to lay down my glossy black vinyl. Now I'm going to cut a strip, and the strip is going to go a little bit far across all the edges. So, and it'll be from here to leave room to cut off for the knifeless tape, and it will come all the way down to just over here. Okay, gotta lay down the vinyl, gotta make sure it's perfectly smooth, no air bubbles, and to make sure that we got a squeegee here, got a little felt lined squeegee, and that's going to help us make sure no bubbles. And once it's all securely down, then we're going to pull the knifeless tape and see what happens. Okay, so this is the vinyl that I'm going to be using to make my stripes for my Viper. I'm using Vivid vinyl. I've used them before on my Hellcat, if you remember from many years ago, and it is fantastic. I've also used this on the Jeep to make my camouflage pattern. So it's not as expensive as some of the other brands, but it's very high quality. And this is gloss black, which is what I want for this car. And I've got 10 by 5 feet, which I think is more than enough to do the entire car. Okay, I've got my rough vinyl laid down and I've started to smooth it off in this area. I've got most of the air bubbles out. I do have a little mark there. I don't know what that is, but I don't like that. But anyway, it's okay to do this because this vinyl has, of course, a cover on the bottom, which I've already taken off on this section. And it also has a clear plastic on the top. So after I've smoothed everything down, I can take off the clear plastic and yeah, then that will look fantastic at that point, I think. Anyway, so I'm going to keep laying down this section and then we'll see if the knife tape works. Now, can I get the air bubbles out? Or whatever. Okay, I think I got the vinyl down pretty flat. I think I've taken care of all the air bubbles. So it's now time to use the knifeless tape. And this is the scary part. Is it going to work? I have to remember to use the knifeless tape that I put on last to make the first cut, and so on and so forth. So in that case, let's do it. Now the first one I'm going to do is right here. And I can give you a little bit more, a better look a little bit later, but right now, I really want to just get this done. You take an extra long piece that you always leave out, you bend it over. Okay, I've got the thread released from the knifeless tape. You got to get the thread released first before you get to where you're trying to cut. And then you just pull it straight back like this. You just pull it straight back like this. And you got to try to do it in a straight line. I didn't quite do that properly, but it is my first cut. You get rid of your old vinyl. There's two parts to the knifeless tape that you have to get rid of, and that's one of them. Then we just smooth down the edges. Okay, so I do have a little bit of yellow showing, but I'm hoping that when the hood is closed, that won't mean anything at all. Okay, so I got my first cut done. Now I have to do the back of the hood, and then we'll do the final parts, and that'll be a big deal. See if this works or not. The way to do it is I start like this, put the thumb here, and jerk it. And that's how it starts, yeah. And then we pull straight back, straight across, just like that. Now it's time to do, oh, hold on, I'm wrong. I got to do this one first. This is the line that goes around the hood scoop. First thing you gotta do is get the thread out of the plastic by pulling on it up to there. Then we'll start it cutting. And pull back, Try and pull straight with whatever the cut is. And then a tricky part here, around the curve, and then straight back. Did it. Now we can remove this piece of vinyl. And yes, yes, okay, that kind of worked, that kind of worked. Now, don't forget to push down the edges with your finger. In this case, I got to push it into, I can see my line's not perfect, but what the heck, you know, it's my first time. And the first thing to do is to get the string started. So you put your thumb there and pull. Oh, okay, so for some reason that's not going. I'm not sure why. I don't want to wreck this vinyl. I put too much effort into it. For some reason, that one didn't start cutting the vinyl. So instead, I'm going to start at the bottom here. I got it going. Oh, this one's coming. This one's cutting. There we go. I've got the rope. Up we go. Up we go. All the way to the edge. And then we take out the old pieces. It's all coming out. Come on. Yeah. Yes. Then we smooth the edges with your finger. Smooth the edges with your finger. But that is a straight line. Okay, it's starting to come together. Okay, so now I will do this center section. Again, we just fold it over, and pull. Back all the way across the hood. Straight back. And like so. And it takes the green with us. Yes. Yes, yes. And then we take out the green piece. The last remaining piece of the knifeless tape has got to be taken out all the way. There's only one more thing to do, and then this is done. There's a protective clear cover on top of this black, glossy black that I have to find a way to get off. See if I can get it started. Oh yeah, I was right. I was kind of worried that I was wrong there, but there's a clear protective cover. And you do all your squeegeeing first with this before you take it off. That way any little micro scratches, well, this is going to be just perfect, I think. Here it comes. Oh, man, that looks pretty good. Wow. Wow. That's pretty interesting. And yes, voila, for a closer look. Okay, this is my first step of doing the stripes, and I think it turned out pretty good, but not perfect. But look at the gloss black. That's going to look awesome. Eventually, this stripe's going to go all the way down, It's going to be incredible all the way down here, here, all the way down here, everywhere. But this shows you what I'm going to be looking at. And this is the first time I've ever done this. So I got to say I'm pretty proud. I'm pretty proud. Look at the gloss. The gloss is great. And this is the look I'm looking for. I think that once it's all done, okay, but the main point is that let's keep going. As you can see, we got the vinyl all laid down. I think I've got all the air bubbles out. It took a bit of work. There's a few imperfections, so I'm not trying to say that this is going to be perfect. If you get any little bit of debris, even the slightest bit, it's going to show when you lay this thing out. Anyway, it's time to do the knifeless tape. And this is actually the funnest part, if it's going to work. I don't know if it's going to work, but this is the fun part. You put your thumb over it, like this, and you go, and the tape, and the thread is out of the tape, as you can see. And we've got to take it to the edge of the vinyl, and then we cut the vinyl like that. And then as we go straight back, that will cut the vinyl straight across. Then you can remove the extra vinyl. Ooh, not that one. Oh, man. And the inner piece as well. And then you just smooth it down with your hand. Straight with the line. Whichever way the line's going, you want to cut straight with the line. And then we're going to go around a curve here. Down. Around another curve. And all the way down to the bottom. Nice, eh? But it's not finished. It's not finished. It's not finished. Wait and you'll see the full effect. You just gotta wait a bit, that's all. So satisfying. Voila! It's not perfect, but that's how you do it yourself. Okay, now I was wondering that maybe I should have a finishing piece off here in the front of the car. And so I've got two different treatments. One is sharp edges, or one is rounded edges at the front of the bumper. Now I don't know if I even need that, because I've kind of decided I'm not going to bring the stripes down here. I don't want to disrupt the face of the car. I like it so the stripes start here and up. So do I need this kind of finishing off beginning right here or not? What do you think? Anyway, next step is to finish off the roof. Right, we're almost done. We're getting there. I've switched the car around, so I got the back end into the garage so I can work on the stripes at the back. So the roof is done. The roof done. And now the final part. So this might be the most difficult part of all. Even though it's the smallest part, it's difficult. Now, I'm not going to go all the way down the bumper. I've made a decision that I don't like that. I don't want to do it. I'm going to bring the stripes just down to this area, and that's it. But that's still quite difficult. You got quite a curve right in here. And I had a little trouble with the tape on this one. The tape did not cut cleanly right here, so I got a little bit of flash. Not too happy about that, so I might have to redo it. For some reason, the tape doesn't like to stick right in the inside of the curve there. I'm not sure why. I've tried it a couple times, gonna have to retry it again. I've got it centered about 4 inches wide, just around the emblem, so that's gonna look awesome. Now you gotta tuck it in here. That's kind of hard to do with the knifeless tape. It's hard to cut on the inside of structures when you got knifeless tape because you gotta pull it. You always gotta pull it. So it's kind of difficult to do that. So that's a problem. But otherwise, it is working and it's almost done. As soon as it's done, I'm gonna get it outside in the sunshine and I'll show you what the final product looks like. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think that looks fantastic. I love it. What do you guys think? That sweet smell, high flow cats exhaust. From the back, this car looks great. From the top, this car looks great. And from the front, this car looks awesome. All right, so that's how you do it. That's how you do stripes for cheap on a Viper. Maybe about $50, that's all I did. A little bit of labor, a little bit of stress, and it's done. Is it perfect? No, but I think it looks darn good. So what do you guys think? Is it a good thing to do to put stripes on your Viper or not? Anyway, thanks for watching Photomikes Garage. I will see you next time.